My patients look at me like I'm crazy when I tell them that walking is not going to help their back pain. In fact, it might make it worse. Welcome back, guys. My name is Dr. Joe Ruskowski. I'm a physical therapist and owner of IDPT here in West Orange, New Jersey. And today I wanted to speak on a topic that I've been getting asked over and over again, especially by my patients with low back pain. And they ask me, right now as I'm going through rehab, should I just be going on walks? And in theory, it sounds like it's such a simple activity and just a low-level thing that you can do to keep moving. But what I tell my patients is actually going on long walks, so walks of 20+ minutes at an increased speed, that's actually going to contribute more to their low back symptoms, and I'm going to explain why in this video. But before I start, make sure you check out our channel where we put out a lot of information about back pain and other issues. Alright guys, so the reason that I say going on long or fast walks when you have back pain and that's going to make your back pain worse is for two reasons and two concepts. The first one that I'm going to talk about is the concept of momentum. And so any activity that we're doing, in this case, walking fast, right? What happens is the direction we're going is the direction our momentum takes us. So as we're walking fast, what's happening is all of your internal momentum and dynamics are going forward. And if we do that, we need to get pushed from the backside to continue to move forward. And what that's going to do is close down everything at the lower back. The second concept is probably even more relevant. And it's if you're watching this video and you have back pain, chances are you're missing a significant amount of hip mobility. In particular, you're going to be missing hip internal rotation range of motion. And what happens is, what you'll notice is when you go on these long walks, typically your feet are turned out, and that's because that's the resting position of your hips. Now, why internal rotation matters so much is because we need internal rotation to turn the hip in, but also to extend the hip back and push off in the correct pattern so that when we're walking, we're using our legs appropriately without compensating with our back. If you're missing that range of motion and you go on these extended periods of walks, what's going to happen is you're just accentuating the compensation pattern even more. So if your feet are turned out and you can't get true internal rotation, plus the concept of momentum, what we're going to do is really extend and arch through our lower back. Even if it doesn't look like you're doing that, it has to be happening because that's how your body organizes and moves and cheats, essentially. Okay, that was a lot, so let me summarize that again. If you have back pain, chances are you're missing hip internal rotation or the ability to turn your hip in. We need our hip to turn in when we push off during walking. If we can't get that true range of motion, we're still going to be able to walk, but our body is going to cheat and compensate. And the number one way that we compensate is by arching at our lower back, which is going to tighten up everything on the backside even more. And so while it might seem simple, it might seem harmless, you're just going for a walk, that repeated stress over and over again in that compensation pattern is actually going to really tighten up your muscles and make you feel that ache again. And you know that feeling that I'm talking about. When you're on your walk, you probably feel great, you feel loose, and then about an hour or 2 hours later, you feel all that come back down, that blood flow pretty much disappears at that point, and now you are stuck with a really aching and tight back. This is not a coincidence, but this explanation is the reason why. So overall, if you are dealing with low back pain, I would recommend not going on these long, fast walks for exercise, but instead I'd really hone in on the corrective exercises that you need to do to improve your hip mobility and improve whatever else is missing in your body so that you can resume going on these walks, but this time with better mechanics and without compensating to your back. And so guys, as always, if you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you at the next one.